As we approach the festive period, it's not unusual to kind of see more games on store shelves, whether that's digital or physical, that are tie-ins. These are games that use existing films, TV shows, celebrities, or even toys in some kind of unique way. Now, these tie-ins often vary wildly in their quality, kind of with the gamut running from the shameless kind of like low effort or obvious cash grabs to the novel kind of real love letter projects that often reimagine a cherished kind of media property. Today we're looking at Hot Wheels Let's Race Ultimate Speed from developer Bamtang, and it probably falls somewhere squarely in the middle. So it's an arcade racer pitched at a younger audience, and it's actually something of a double tie-in. Firstly, of course, is the obvious Hot Wheels connection. You'll find a ton of Mattel's toy cars recreated digitally, all of which you can fling around the tracks. The second connection is to a Hot Wheels animated show that's been running on Netflix for the past few years. The show's third season premiered earlier this year, and now there's a game to go alongside it. Now, I wasn't familiar with this show prior to checking out this game, and you wouldn't expect me to be, right? I'm not the target audience. But my 6-year-old son, well, he hadn't seen the show either, but before we kind of decided to check out the game, we quickly checked out the show on Netflix so we could kind of both have a better understanding of the connection here. And upon kind of checking it out, it's a light-hearted, fairly conventional TV offering about a bunch of like determined young drivers who put their driving skills to test at racing camp. And the game kind of lets you step into their shoes and race across a bunch of like similar environments to those that you see in the show. If you remember like any of the cartoons from the 80s that were designed to kind of like sell as toys, it's pretty much a modern take on that. So players aren't just left to figure things out from the off. There's actually a simple tutorial that opens up the game, acting as a kind of like a gentle introduction to the core gameplay. And it mixes together, it kind of brings together a mix of both like traditional arcade racing along with kind of outlandish, over-the-top boss encounters. And once you're kind of familiar with this core racing mechanics, players are then kind of swiftly welcome to explore the wider game, including a garage where you can kind of see your unlocked cars, the main racing campaign, and even a neat kind of like create your own track builder. Now, a typical campaign race challenges players to kind of hit boost points, grab pickups, and navigate turns. The arcade gameplay here won't really challenge or particularly excite older players, but in testing, my son seemed engaged and happy enough. Things do amp up though with those boss encounters that I mentioned. They kind of challenge players to not only do all of the usual arcade racing, but also kind of like time their attack moves to take down various on-screen baddies. It's an added layer of complexity and welcome variety to the otherwise pretty run-of-the-mill racing. I will note that my son's interest in the game was helped along by assistive controls, similar to those popularized by Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Having these kind of like completely optional control toggles in place helps with things like acceleration and steering, and they're a big win in my eyes. They open up the overall experience to a wider audience of players, and it's something I'm always appreciative of seeing. My appreciation goes a step further here, however, as I found the base handling a little bit off, so any help to kind of correct that was appreciated. Now, the track builder was a much welcome surprise addition too. It's something of a neat nod to the kind of like long toy building legacy of Hot Wheels, you know? Setting up a big plastic loop to fling cars around your bedroom is almost a rite of passage. So to have like a digital recreation of that here is really nice to see. And not only that, but in a world of like Minecraft and Roblox, having any sort of building mechanism seems to be a sound move. So with accurate characters, adequate voice acting, and tracks which mimic the TV locales, the links to the cartoon on which this racer is based is really, really clear. And although on the whole, presentation in Hot Wheels Let's Race is a tad basic and simple, I imagine young fans of the Netflix show will no doubt appreciate what's on screen here. If you've got a kid who is a big fan of the show, then this is probably a really, really solid choice for them. They'll undoubtedly get a buzz out of seeing and controlling the show's kind of various characters. But if you've got a child who is not overly familiar with a Netflix cartoon and is just a fan of Hot Wheels and toy cars kind of like more generally, there are probably better options to go for, such as the Hot Wheels Unleashed games. This new Hot Wheels Switch game performs well, it offers plenty to do, and on the whole is a competent, if somewhat simple, arcade experience. It's a straightforward racer that will likely appeal to younger players. Hot Wheels Let's Race Ultimate Speed is available now for the Nintendo Switch and the PS5 too. Okay, that's all from me today. If you've enjoyed this video, there is a button just for that, which you can hit down below. And if you didn't like this video, then there's a button for that too, but, you know, be nice. Cheers!